Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Inside Winston Cup Racing. I'm in our studios at Sunbelt Video in Charlotte, North Carolina. There is no NASCAR Winston Cup race this weekend. They run next week in the AC Delco 400 at Rockingham, North Carolina. Coming up on this show, we'll catch up on the news, and we'll also salute the crew members in NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. That and more coming up.
Today's show is brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. And by Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
There are still 3 races remaining on the 1995 NASCAR Winston Cup schedule and still a champion to be crowned. But many drivers, crew members, sponsors, and you name it are looking forward to the 1996 season, and they've been making announcements about it. Bill Weber catches us up on the latest that's going on.
This segment of IWCR is brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car. It was a typically wild weekend at Charlotte as things began to take shape for the 1996 season. Johnny Benson confirmed he will take the Winston Cup ride at Bahari Racing beginning next season. Benson was the 1994 Rookie of the Year in the Busch Series and is currently leading the 1995 points race. While Benson is leaving Base Motorsports, so is his sponsor. Lipton Tea will jump on the Fords fielded by Aiken Sutton Motorsports. Elton Sawyer has driven those Fords the last 2 years. Dennis Setzer will be in the seat when the season starts at Daytona. That was just one of a number of announcements in recent days. Tim Fedewa moves to Doug Taylor's Ford and will run with sponsorship from Kleenex. And Dale Jarrett's Busch schedule will include 18 races in the Band-Aid shower-to-shower machine. Veteran Winston Cup crew chief Bill Engel will team with former Busch Series champion Steve Grissom and car owner Gary Bechtel in 1996. In addition to his duties as team manager and crew chief, Engel's package includes seat time, driving in selected Busch and Super Truck events.
Well, I'm pretty pleased with my decision. I had a lot of offers from some good people, and there are different things that make people make a decision one way or another, and Steve and Gary both were just, real ecstatic about me coming on board. That they know my desires, wanting to drive some, and their desires and wanting to get their race program up to par. So we got together and talked, and we feel like we can make a mutual happy ending somewhere along the way for all of us out of this deal.
Get to work with a young, talented driver over there.
Yeah, he is. I like Steve a lot, and we've had some conversation, a little bit to this point, and he seems real receptive to wanting help and willing to do, what he needs to do to make it work.
While the Charlotte Motor Speedway continues to grow, its sister speedway in Texas is also growing. General Manager Eddie Gossage is excited about the progress and optimistic about the future of the new Texas Motor Speedway.
Boy, things are really coming together quickly. We've moved about 1 million yards of dirt. We got to move a total of 4 million to build this thing because, the racetrack and the grandstands are built on field dirt. So we're doing real good. In a couple of weeks, mid-October, we should begin pouring concrete, piers on which the grandstands will be placed. So things are coming along really much quicker than we had thought they might. So we're happy with the progress and excited about all the fan support and sponsor support we're finding in Texas.
Is there a target completion date at this point, Eddie?
We think we can get this thing done by late summer, early fall. So if NASCAR, for instance, was feeling benevolent, wanted to give us a date next fall, we'd meet it and we'd be ready to run a race and fill it up. It's going to be the second largest sports facility in the country. So we're certain that NASCAR is going to want to run there. Huge market, the 8th largest TV market in the nation. So we got a lot of good things going for it.
That is the big question. Obviously, a lot of people are interested in dates. You guys seem to feel fairly secure that you'll be able to attract a Winston Cup race in a hurry.
We'd like to think we can. I'm certainly confident about it. So confident I'm willing to put Bruton Smith's $100 million where my mouth is. So we'll have to see. But I got to feel like all the sponsors in the sport, all the fans throughout the country, it's a great portion of the country that hasn't been served by an event. We got everything going our way and going to build a first-class track unlike anything anybody's seen in NASCAR racing. It's going to be a world-class facility in every respect. So we're certain they're going to be there soon enough, and we're just going to try and do it such they can't say no.
With a 244-point lead, Johnny Benson can clinch the NASCAR Busch Grand National Championship next weekend in the AC Delco 200 at Rockingham, North Carolina. But the NASCAR Winston Cup title is still up for grabs after Jeff Gordon had his problems at Charlotte. Of course, they'll go at it in the AC Delco 400 next weekend at Rockingham, and you can see both of those races live right here on TNN. As we leave you for this break, we'll take a look at the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings, and when we come back, we'll salute some of the behind-the-scenes guys in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. It's a deserved weekend off for those in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. They've had 10 straight races without a break. Most of the time on this program, we talk to the drivers and the crew chiefs, but there are many others behind the scenes who are very dedicated to their jobs in the sport of auto racing. So we thought we would take this opportunity and talk to some of them to try to give you a sense of what their life is like in racing.
You can't do it by yourself. That's the whole bottom line. I mean, so how valuable are they? They make you or they break you.
This is a business of passion. And you really love to do this, and you put up with all the, the going away, the travel, and like I said, it is hard at times. But yeah, I love it. So I do it.
You just keep working for the goal to be number one, and if you don't do it, you just keep trying. And you look up and down the garage area, there's people here that's been doing it for 100 years that haven't really done that good at it, but they just keep doing it. I myself haven't been in Victory Circle yet, and this is going on my 10th year. There's nobody here that you don't think you can beat. It's just a matter of proving yourself to beat them.
Well, it's all in what you want to do, and if you enjoy it, that's what makes it worthwhile.
It's a job, but it's something you got to really enjoy to do.
Like I told my wife, I said, if you can find something for me to do that I can enjoy this much, I'll do it tomorrow, but there's nothing else I'd rather do right now.
That's a fair measure of the emotion and attitude from the often faceless and nameless worker bees in NASCAR racing. In the shop and at the track, they are the hidden architects of racing's most competitive breed. Yet they seldom see the spotlight or the sunlight.
Yeah, especially in the wintertime. In the wintertime, you never get to see the sun.
Crew guys are initiated into a weird yet wonderful role in the world of racing. You cannot explain how they do what they do, and they can't explain why.
Well, first of all, I guess it's a competitive spirit. Everybody in the garage area has raced at one level or another or competed, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, and they're competitors. And once you get into the deal and start competing, you just got to keep going, and you go on and on and on. It's a competitive type thing. And then from then on, it just becomes an obsession to just do good every week.
What I do is try to bring somebody with me. Every week somebody wants to come, so you try to bring one every now and then and show them what goes on. They go back and they can explain what really happens. They can explain it to somebody better than we can.
I'm a mechanical engineer, and this is just a big challenge to beat these guys week in and week out, because they're coming at you just as hard as you're going after them.
This dedicated fraternity seems to initiate its members with a bizarre oath. Each week you desperately want to crush your opponent, but in times of distress, you're the first to rush in to help. It is a formula that has galvanized friendships throughout the garage.
Like the people mostly. I like a lot of people around the racetrack. I got more friends here than I got at home, because I'm here 90% of the time, so I don't know anybody at home much. Most of my friends are here.
All these passionate performers work toward a single goal, success on Sunday. From the time the sun rises until the checkered flag falls, there is an ocean of adrenaline flowing through every player and a constant concern for your craft.
Especially the last 20 laps. If you run up front, you think, what did I leave loose?
You can have the greatest driver, but if you leave him 10 spots behind on pit road, he's got a tough time ahead of him.
There's no better feeling than going to victory lane, knowing that you had a big part in making it to victory lane.
And to do that, you must have pride in your performance and the patience to see it rewarded.
It's difficult. I mean, if you haven't been in it all your life, like since I was 13, it's hard to explain to somebody that's been in it a year, hey, I do this every week. I mean, you get some people in here that's been doing it a year, and they say, man, how do you, I mean, a year of this, how can you stand it? I mean, I tell you, I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
On race day, the grungy side of this sport is blinded by the bright colors constantly whizzing by. That's when perception blurs reality.
Yeah, because they think it's this big fairy tale that you go in and, well, this is really nice, work on a Winston Cup race car. Well, it is nice, you know, but sometimes the glory ain't always there, and they don't quite understand why you've been, like my neighbors, for instance. I'll leave before they do and come home 9 o'clock at night, and they can understand what do you do on a race car throughout the whole week, you know. So yeah, it's different.
Oh yeah, this is a glamour deal here. You know, we just stand around, talk, and go to these cities and have a big time. But it's hard that they don't understand that Monday morning we come back and put the cars back together, maintenance the cars, and then pit practice. Pits are being so tough on us now in the pit stops, and then doing all that, and then getting in the airplane and flying and going on the road and I mean, just doing all the traveling that they think so great. That's actually the worst part about it, is actually moving your body from point A to point B.
Well, the glamour part is all these beautiful hotels and these luxury restaurants that we get to spend all our time at, too.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for Domino's Pizza and a Hampton Inn, I don't believe I'd have a place to stay or anything to eat.
Well, I guess that goes for all of us who work in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. It is not all glory and glamour, but we do enjoy it, even though the pizza is cold sometimes when we get to it. We'll talk to more of those hidden heroes in NASCAR Winston Cup racing when we come back, so you stay with us. As we continue our salute to the behind-the-scenes men in NASCAR Winston Cup racing, it would certainly be nice if we could interview everyone in the garage area, but there are hundreds of them, and we know there are a lot of good stories to be told, but we just wanted to give you a feel of what these guys go through in their jobs.
You know you can do better. You just have to come back and prove yourself the next week. And if you don't run good that week, you come back and try to prove yourself the week after that.
Just to see your car doing good and finishing good, and there's more downs than ups, but it's real exciting when it gets down towards the end of the race and you're in the top 5 and have a shot at winning a race. Win the race, it's a feeling that none of the fans will ever know.
I guess the competition. You know, it's just like football players, baseball players do it year in, year out. Why? 'Cause the competition's there. Each year you keep hoping, well, maybe it's going to be my turn this year.
Each year, only one team will celebrate racing's ultimate prize. The weekly derby is a great reward as well as an enticing incentive. But every February, when the new season dawns at Daytona, the dream is to win the coveted cup. As the '95 season roars toward its dramatic conclusion, plans are already forming for 1996. The last race of the year is November 12th in Atlanta. Then the misnamed off-season begins.
Yeah, because, you know, everybody will say, well, you know, you don't work all year long after Atlanta. You got the rest of the winter off. But, you know, if anybody knows any racing at all, the race team after Atlanta, that's probably the hardest time of our year because we're in the shop 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day, trying to get 2 new cars ready to go to Daytona and test, go to Talladega and test, and back to Daytona and test, and just back and forth, and then maybe go home and cut the body off 2 or 3 times from November to February the 16th or whatever it is the race is on.
Sunday is the day you work for. I mean, just like when you go to Daytona Beach, you unload Daytona Beach in February, you worked all winter long, building cars, going testing Daytona, Talladega for that one race.
Of course, in every race, each crew faces the pressure of pit stop. 20 tough seconds of no margin for error execution. In the late 80s, Dale Earnhardt's Flying Aces earned pit crew championships for themselves and national titles for their team. But they were not the forerunners of pit road perfection.
I don't think so. I think you got to think of the Wood brothers. Those guys were great in their day. I think, and you know, we won our 4 straight Unocal pit crew championships, and yeah, we've been a strong pit crew all this year. So yeah, we do get a lot of attention, but a lot of that I think is because of Dale Earnhardt also. I'd say the Wood brothers have always been my heroes as far as pit crews, because I think they really defined it and improved on it so greatly. I mean, you know, they went to Indianapolis and pitted, you know, Jimmy Clark. So I think they brought the pit crews to the forefront. And then maybe we refined it some more than other teams today are still refining it better, and we have to keep doing that.
The challenge of refining and improving your performance is just one of many reasons crew members have stayed in racing. Following a disappointing performance, it is difficult to wait an entire week to prove yourself once again. But the next stop means a new chance. That thrill is what has kept Mike Thomas around 11 years.
Love of the sport and a chance to win next week. You know you got 31 chances to win, so you know next week you can come back and do it again, and you might run up front, you might not, but you know you got that chance.
So next time you're at the track, be sure to say hi to the crew guys. You don't have to know their name. They'll just be happy to know you appreciate their work. Between races, it'll keep them going. And after the race, well, you know where they hope to be.
The ultimate goal is victory circle, and then after that's the championship. And if you don't got that, and you don't ever get that, you're going to come up short, no matter what anybody tells you.
Well, I can certainly understand that. Of course, one of the goals is to get into victory lane, but the ultimate goal is to win the championship. I was very fortunate to win it twice. And the lasting friendships that you can make in this business, there's just nothing like it, and there's nothing like the feel of winning that championship. You know, these guys are out there every week. That is their total life. Their little world is wrapped up in racing, and we respect them for it. Still to come, we'll have the mailbox, so don't go away.
Now here's a look at next week's show. All eyes will be on Rockingham as Dale Earnhardt tries to chase down Jeff Gordon in the race for the Winston Cup Championship. We'll have the pre-race report from the AC Delco 400 next Sunday morning. And we'll talk to Ward Burton. After a rocky start to his Winston Cup career, Burton is blended into the mix at Bill Davis Racing, where talent and teamwork could take this popular driver to his first Winston Cup win before this season is over.
Hi, I'm Max Helton, the chaplain with Winston Cup Racing, and I want to say congratulations and happy 10th anniversary for all those at Inside Winston Cup Racing.
The IWCR mailbox is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Our question is from Barbara Mueller from Maryland. Can you explain why at some tracks Winston Cup cars have a right side window and at other tracks they do not?
Hello, I'm Jimmy Spencer, driver of the Smoking Joe's Ford. Barbara, the reason why the side windows are installed in the cars was mainly so that when the cars turn sideways on real fast racetracks, usually 1.5 miles and over, the air would get inside the car and cause the car to lift, and that would in turn help the car to get on its roof, so to speak. So NASCAR installed this window in the air that does, when the car does get sideways in the air, does hit the side of the car, it will try and go over the roof and help push the car down. And also the flaps now has been the greatest thing to keep the cars on the ground. Thanks for writing in.
If you have a question, write to us at Inside Winston Cup Racing, Box 240-417, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28224. If we use your question, you'll receive a Miller Genuine Draft Race Team Jacket. Meet John Boy and Billy, NASCAR's resident wise guys. These radio personalities have kept race teams and race fans laughing for years. Now you can order their entertaining box set by calling 1-800-471-STOP. Call now, 1-800-471-STOP, and hear for yourself.
Well, that'll do it for today. Our time's up. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're off to Rockingham for the races there next week. You join us again here on TNN for more on the Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Today's show has been brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula Free Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. And by Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires. Team Simpson is your ticket to be a part of all the exciting racing action. Call 1-800-71-RACIN to order the 95 catalog and join Team Simpson today. The official conversion van of IWCR is Gladiator by Glovell, America's #1 luxury van. Glovell, the way we put it together, sets us apart. Communications for Inside Winston Cup Racing are provided by Racing Radios, Forest Park, Georgia. Racing Radios, the official communications of NASCAR and the Winston Cup Series.